How are we all doing, YouTube? And welcome in another episode of the Build on Pro Standard series. And today I will take you through my entire leg day back in Warsaw. So this session was actually completed in an Extreme Fitness Cybernetyki. If you are from the area of Warsaw, you may know this gym. So it's basically a commercial gym, but a bit more on the bodybuilding side rather than fitness, but it's still a commercial gym. So we started off with finally one set of leg extension. The plan was to do two, but honestly the stack was so light that we decided to push the other set and do single leg at the back end of the workout, especially considering that this extension is surprisingly heavy in the stretch and it has a surprisingly good range of motion in the stretch position. So we did one set here, full stack and 2.5 kilograms added for 18 reps for myself. With like a little help of Kacper at the end. So I was absolutely fried by this point, and this was first set in. It's only because I'm used to using prime equipment where I can load it. First of all, really a lot in lengthen, but also simply using the thinner plates. I'm talking about the plate loader one, and like finish on like 7-8 reps, because anything above, I feel like the pump is just getting ridiculous, and I'm not sure if it's failure or the pump is insane. So second exercise, 2 sets of seated hamstring curl, also full stack here. Why we place it this way? I always like to have my extension work before my compounds, but I want to have a break between, simply to let the quads cool off a bit, to give them a little break. So 1 set of extension, then 2 sets of the seated hamstring curl, and we then move on to the compound of the day, which would be the Nautilus hack squat. This is kind of the way I usually do it. I also very often program an adductor, but I knew that it will have a similar problem to the extension where it will be just too light, and the Nautilus equipment is just not gym fit friendly. So here we are, the main set of the workout. So 5.5 plates loaded on the Nautilus hack squat. It's a very nice piece actually. It's based out of the original flex hack squat which I actually used in Muscle Works in London. So a very good piece. As you can see here, I'm using yoga blocks underneath my or above my shoulders, simply to increase the range of motion a bit, as it was not enough for myself. Also a seat belt just added stability around the hip. I feel like I'm much more productive in this position. So taking the set, of course, all the way there, 1 set here for myself, and then we move on to the RDL, which was a bit funny because I loaded 6 plates and it was not enough. So I've added like a easy bar on top. And the first set was kind of on the lower rep size. I think it was like 5 or 6, and actually the 6 plates per side plus the 40 was actually pretty heavy. So I would say it's a bit heavier than the Gymleco one, and for sure much heavier than the Pit Shark one. So a very nice set, and actually we went for a back off because I was not really satisfied with the amount of reps that I got. So after this set, we took out 1 plate and the 40 kilograms. So a back off on 5 plates. The initial idea was to pause it a bit at the bottom, which ended up working okay at first few reps, but then I was like, just let's blast it. You can actually see my erectors from my shirts here. This is insane, guys. If you want a proper density across not only your back but also your hamstring, your glutes, like don't RDL just below your knees. Like go all the way there. If you can see this hinge or my dumbbell stiff leg deadlift, I go all the way down. So after the second set of that, we moved on to the linear leg press, which was surprisingly heavy because this is actually the normal 45-degree angle. So very low foot positioning, allowing my heels to elevate. The heels are off the pad all the time, so they are below the pad. So 5 plates here, which honestly I thought it would be okay, but I overestimated it it was extremely hot one as well, and I gave every set everything I've got. So I've actually done something crazy here, and I went for a drop set. I very rarely train with somebody. And it was just cool. I and Kacper, we've done a lot of cool shit before with some, double bottom leg presses. So this was cool to get back onto it. So Kacper was much stronger than myself on the leg press. So he did, I believe, 6.5 plates for a solid set. Yeah, as you can see, his calves are absolutely ginormous, and I don't know how he's doing that. And actually, about calves, after this, I didn't. That's the only exercise I didn't record. We did 4 straight sets of toe press on the same leg press on the same load, and yeah, then onto the adductor. So as I thought, it is quite an easy one. And maybe not the easiest I've ever used. The nice thing about it is quite heavy at the lengthen, so congratulations, Nautilus. We are going in a good direction here. 2 sets here to finish off legs, basically. So that there will be actually one more exercise which we decided to add on, which will be the single leg extension. So the main cue here is simply try to drive your knees together rather than your toes, and get a full stretch and full contraction, because nobody cares about some partial reps on the adductor. Yeah, as I said, a pretty good machine, to be honest. One of the better that I use, of course, not close to prime yet. So as I said, we finished off on some leg extensions, simply because I've realized I basically done 3 working sets and 1 drop set. So I was like, let's add something in. So I believe it was 71 kilograms, which is like 3/4 of their stack single leg, but finally for some proper airplane, so I believe it was 7 per leg. And The resistance profile of this machine suits it even at this point of the session. Like, it's relatively heavy at the lengthen, and as I mentioned when I was doing it bilaterally, the range of motion is actually crazy. I didn't record it, but it's very hard to get to the machine, and I would actually argue that it has a greater range of motion than the prime leg extension, which is also has a ridiculous one. So no hustle pad around here needed for sure. Then straight onto the second leg. Basically, guys, you don't need to wait 5 minutes to do a second leg on your hamstring work or on your bicep. I understand that it's worth, in any unilateral work, taking some break, but you are not doing Bulgarian split squats where you are completely out of breath and you need to actually wait 2-3 minutes, or some heavy lat pull down. This is just a leg extension in a low rep setting, so I don't see a point of resting excessively. Of course, take your time between the sets, but just don't do any crazy shit with it. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed this one, a bit of a shorter one, but I hope you have some value out of it. So I've actually really enjoyed my time spent in Poland. We went with the family for and with my friends for a couple of plans. So my first ramen, my second ever kebab, my first ever wagyu, my probably 1,000 beef tartar. So a few very good. Oh, the best cinnamon bun I ever had. But the good thing about it is I managed it all so well that I've actually returned exactly the same weight. I was actually 0.05 kilograms lighter when I returned to Ireland than when I left, which is exactly what we want from such a break. Also, I also treated this a bit of a like a devolume week. So what I simply done is, instead of running upper lower upper lower upper, so 3 times upper frequency and 2 times lower, I did legs push pull. Then I did 2 rest days in a row, simply because on the first one I had some manual therapy, which was quite intense, and then the following day I needed to rest. Then the last day in Warsaw, so last Sunday, I did an upper body session, a bit like 1 set less per body part, so a devolume, if you want to call it this way. Of course, all sets balls to the wall, but yeah, right now back into the full groove in the 29th weeks of my push-up phase. That's everything from myself today. If you're interested in getting coached by me, just drop me a DM on WhatsApp. Please leave a like, leave a comment. I really appreciate anyone who engages with my videos, and till the next one.